My go-to rifle. Today I want to talk about my rifle setup, how it's been holding up over the last few years, the changes I've made to it, the pros and cons, and more. The main purpose behind this build was I wanted to have something for up close, something that was easy to maneuver, something that was lightweight, reliable, ergonomic, and all the above. This is my 300 yards and in all day gun. Very confident with this out to 300. I'm sure it can go a lot further, but as far as my holdovers, as far as training with this so far, I'm definitely confident. But again, I wanted something that was for up close, something that was lightweight. So the length of this build is going to be 16.1. It's actually a 13.9, but I had it pin and welded with a couple extra shims to make it 16.1 just to be safe. This is a fixed magazine rifle as well because I am here in California. Featureless versus fixed magazine, that's a whole other conversation. I personally prefer fixed magazine over featureless. Some people like featureless just because I like having a basic rifle setup as far as a pistol grip, a flash hider, and those are my main two reasons why I just can't do the fin grip or a muzzle brake. If shit hits the fan, I just have to remove one thing and everything's the same. I don't have to remove a muzzle brake, put a flash hider on. I don't have to remove a fin grip, nothing. I just have to take the fixed magazine, which is going to be from Juggernaut Tactical, as well as the Hogue Freedom Fighter kit. Just remove that and basically would have a regular rifle and good to go. So that's kind of my whole reason why I went with fixed magazine. I didn't want to have to change anything out if ever needed. And I feel like with the whole reload, it's easy to train with. And honestly, it's not that hard, especially with the new and improved fixed magazine setups, like I said, from Hogue Freedom Fighter kit, as well as Juggernaut Tactical, the rear pin. Another good setup is the Kingpin with the AR mag lock. That's a really great combination as well. Just kind of wanted to go over the reasons behind this build and why it's a fixed magazine, because like I said, I am here in California. Like Duran Thumb likes to do, we'll start with the tip and work our way to the butt. As far as the muzzle device I went with, this is going to be a Surefire Warcomp. I went with this because it does have a QD attachment. If I ever move to a free state, I could just attach a suppressor if needed. And it's very quick, obviously, with the QD attachment. Surefire makes a training suppressor as well, which I've ran on here before, and it worked very well. It attached easily and obviously removed very easily. As far as the recoil management, it does have a little bit of compensation there as well, so that helps a lot. I also wanted, the main reason I wanted to get it was a flash hider, but to be honest, if I could go back, I would just get the Surefire 3-prong flash hider. I wouldn't get the Warcomp because it does put out a little bit more of a signature than I would like or than I would prefer at nighttime, because again, this is my fighting rifle, and when you have a muzzle brake or compensation, anything like that, it just gives out a lot more of a flash signature at night, which obviously I don't want to do. So if I could go back, and eventually in the future, I do want to switch this to a Surefire 3-prong with the QD attachment. I think that's a great option for a flash hider. As far as the barrel, this is going to be a Ballistic Advantage 13.9 inch barrel. Again, I have it pinned and welded to 16.1 inches because again, for the DOJ, Gavin, etc., this is a rifle. So again, 13.9 barrel from Ballistic Advantage, well over 7,000 rounds through this barrel, and I am very impressed. Extremely accurate still. Again, like I said, lightweight. Love this barrel, love this rifle so far. I highly recommend Ballistic Advantage. Check them out. As far as the rail itself, this is going to be from Ghost or Grid Defense. They're based out of Florida. This is going to be their 11-inch M-LOK rail. I wanted to get their 13-inch one, which I did originally, but when you put on this training suppressor, it kind of is too much of a tight fit with the handrail, so I went and got their 11-inch, and it works well. A little bit of the barrel exposed, but honestly, just a little bit lighter, and I have enough room for what I run on here as far as my lasers and lights, etc. As far as my laser and my light, this is going to be from Defense Distributors, their GL4 Pro. I've done a video on this. Make sure to check it out. I really like this laser. As far as the Viz laser, this thing's a lightsaber. The IR laser is really good as well. The IR illuminator is not the best, but I heard the company, I don't know exactly, but I'll drop it down in the comments once I find out. There's an attachment you can add on here to have a better illuminator, which is pretty cool. The main reason I really like this though is that it has a white light, Viz laser, IR laser, and an IR illuminator all in one, which is really awesome. The IR illuminator gets the job done, especially up close, and the IR laser and Viz laser are awesome on here. As far as my white light, this is going to be a Streamlight ProTac. Extremely durable light. I would compare this to the Surefire Scout at a lot cheaper price. Again, it's gonna be like 150, 125, somewhere around there. Streamlight HL-X. I really like this a lot. This is gonna be with the Hammy3DPrints Light Cap, just in case, because I don't want to give my signature out with an accidental discharge. So again, I activate my light if I need, but if I have the cap on there, when I activate it, it blocks it. So again, you don't give your signature away when you don't want to. Make sure to check out Hammy3DPrints. Really solid, awesome company. That dude's by himself and puts out some awesome products. So make sure to check him out again. And this is gonna be on an Arisaka extended mount, which they say not to go exposed past the M-lock, but honestly, I've done it for a couple of years now and it's worked really well. I like extending it to the end of the muzzle just to put out a little bit less of a barrel shadow, so that helps a lot. I have it on my left side now. I used to have it on my right, just because when I'm doing CQB with my friends, etc., I feel like I usually end up on the right-hand side, peeking around corners. Obviously, every now and then I have to transition, but for the most part, I find myself always on the right side, and your arm, for the most part, is already on that side. So when I turn or peek a corner, obviously they don't see the light first, for the most part, when I'm coming from my right-hand side. Can't really do that as much from the left-hand side. But again, since my sling, my left hand, obviously all my support hand, all that stuff is already on my left-hand side, I like keeping the right hand streamlined as much as possible. That way I'm not giving my signature around the corner as much as I can. So that's kind of my idea why I put it on the left-hand side. Not to say you can't run it on the right. Obviously, it's proven that you can, but I feel like running with lasers and we haven't done sims yet, nothing like that, but just the mantis and stuff like that, I've given myself away a lot less having it on the left-hand side now. So recommend, if you are a righty, putting it on your left-hand side, opposite if you're a lefty. As far as my light control system, how I activate my light, this is going to be from Cloud Defense. I like this a lot. It just goes on top of the Picatinny rail and it keeps the pressure pad nice and secure. So again, there's no way it could come off at all. I just have some goon tape wrapped around it as well, just to make it a little more comfortable, get a little bit less hot when I'm shooting a lot of rounds. But again, I'm gonna have the Cloud Defensive LCS to have my pressure pad mounted through there. As far as the sling itself, this is gonna be from Flatline Fiber Co. I've done a video on this as well, make sure to check it out. This is by far my favorite sling out there. As far as the padded slings out there, some of them are too thick in my opinion. This one is not. It's like the perfect medium in between non-padded and padded. So it's comfortable around my neck. It's held up over a year now. Very solid, very comfortable. Well, I love the colorway as well. This is gonna be their OD green with tan. As far as how I keep it stowed, this is gonna be the T.Rex Arms paracord. So the T.Rex Arms sling keeper on the front. And then I just have some Ranger bands back here on the buffer tube. So if I ever needed, I can just really quickly take this out like you saw. I can quickly deploy it if I ever need. Put it around my neck, and then be good to go. But I do recommend keeping it stowed if you're not gonna be using it, just so it doesn't get tangled up if you ever have to get into a vehicle or if you're ever running around in your house for home defense, etc. Just having it stowed out of the way so you're not getting hung up on stuff is extremely important. Or if you go to grab it out of your safe and it kind of gets stuck on other stuff because the sling's just hanging around, definitely recommend keeping it stowed, which I'll do a video on that in the near future. It's pretty straightforward, but just for some of you guys that are new shooters, definitely recommend keeping your sling stowed. In a fashion, like I said though, how you can quickly deploy it if needed. But again, Flatline Fiber Co sling, really like it. As far as the optic I'm running, this is gonna be the Holosun 510C. Done a video on this as well. I've done a lot of videos on these items, just so you know, if you wanna check out my channel. But again, the Holosun 510C, for me, this is like the budget version of an EOTech. I was gonna pick either the EXPS2 or the Holosun 510C. For me, it was hard to justify the extra money for the EOTech with all that this Holosun was doing, especially with their battery life. Their battery life is extremely efficient. I've had this for almost 4 years now, and I've only changed the battery one time. I love the shake awake, the different versions of having just the circle or just having a dot or a circle and a dot. I love the different reticle options. This is gonna be the green version. Highly recommend this. If you're in SoCal, it works well in the desert. In my opinion, just in the desert environment, I feel like it's a lot easier to pick up the green, at least with my eyes, as opposed to red. Not that red doesn't work well, but again, for daytime shooting, I feel like the green has worked well for me. I do have it on top of the Unity Tactical Fast Riser, just to have a little bit more of a heads up posture, especially now that I got night vision or when I'm shooting with kit, etc. Instead of having to get down lower for like a lower third or absolute, I like having a little bit higher. I believe this is the 193. So again, a little bit higher heads up posture, and I can still see my optic if I have night vision on, etc. And when I'm shooting with kit, I don't have to really get as low. So again, the Unity Fast Riser. I do want to get the Unity Fast Magnifier mount because I have a Holosun magnifier. And the reason I want to get that one is because it's a streamlined mount. As far as the magnifier is not hanging off to the side when you're not using it, it's just below. When I go to push it up, it would just come up to the top. And I'm using it, it would just go back down streamlined, so you're not getting hung up on your kit, hitting walls, etc. So I do want to get one of those in the near future. As far as my backup sights, because the Magpul regular ones wouldn't fit this height. They're going to be the offset backups. These are going to be the aluminum ones as opposed to the plastic, just to be a little bit more durable. I do think you should have a backup optic on all of your rifles, especially your fighting rifles. So again, if I ever have this optic go down, I can just catch it, and now I can use the backup iron sights, which are pretty nice. As far as the charging handle, this is going to be the Radian Raptor. By far my favorite charging handle out there. Ambidextrous, ergonomic, all the above. And again, the bolt carrier group is going to be from Aero Precision, an awesome company with affordable products, American made, so can't go wrong there. As far as my upper, it's going to be from ABC Rifle Company, just the upper receiver. And the lower itself is going to be from Aero Precision as well. I am running the Magpul BAD lever, which is the battery assist device. I like the Magpul BAD lever just for fixing malfunctions. I can lock it back with one hand. Instead of having to take my hand off my rifles, I can just put my finger up, lock the bolt back, etc. So I like the Magpul BAD lever for that reason. As far as my trigger, this is going to be the CMC 3.5 pound curve trigger. It's a single stage. I like 2-stage for fighting rifles, but this has been an awesome trigger so far. I love how crisp it is. I have the flat face one as well, but I prefer the curved one, in my opinion, over the flat face after trying both. As far as my grip, it's going to be from Hogue. I don't really like finger grooves, to be honest, on grips when shooting, especially with pistols. I dremeled the one off my Glock, etc. But for some reason, I like these finger grooves because they help me get high on the rifle, and I love the rubber grip. Definitely love this pistol grip. As far as my controls, these are going to be the Radian Talons. I love these safety selectors. In my opinion, my favorite selectors out there. Obviously, like I said, their Raptor charging handle is my favorite as well. I am running the HRF Concepts Magwell. It just makes your reloads a lot more consistent, especially if you have night vision on or you're doing it in the dark. If you happen to kind of miss a little bit, it just slides in there, which is awesome. So definitely like the HRF Magwell. Make sure to check them out. As far as magazines, people always talk crap on the Hex Mags. In my opinion, I've had them for over almost 4 years now, and I haven't had problems with any of them. They've all been solid. Obviously, P-Mags are proven overseas. They're solid. Magpul P-Mags, can't go wrong. But for the price and the ergonomics, I love these Hex Mags. I like them. They run well for me. Haven't had any problems with them. As far as the stock, this is my favorite stock. This is the Magpul SLS. It has these little things back here where you can store some batteries in, just pull them out and then store your batteries in here, which is nice. I love the cheek weld placement on this. It's up there with the BCM SOT mod, etc. Love this Magpul SLS. In my opinion, again, my favorite stock out there. And I also like the rubber on the back. As far as when you're shooting for recoil management, it helps kind of grip on you a lot easier. In my opinion, this is, again, one of the best stocks out there. So really quick, just a little pro tip. I learned this from Risky Krisky. If you haven't heard of them, make sure to check them out. Another line of security, just so you don't lose any of your essential items like your optic, your laser, your light. Obviously, you can't shoot what you can't see, can't shoot what you can't aim at, etc. So another line of security is zip tying these down. So I already Loctited it and screwed them down really tight, but I also do a zip tie around all my essential items. So again, I zip tie my light to my mount, I zip tie my mount to the rail, I also zip tie my laser to the rail, and then I zip tie my optic to the mount, etc. So just a little pro tip there if you are having a fighting rifle or considering building out a fighting rifle. Another line of security, whether you're going through water, through crazy terrain, bumping stuff, whatever, you don't want to lose your essential stuff. So another line of security, like I said, is just zip tying them down. Just want to do a little quick pro tip on that. And that's pretty much it on this rifle. I really, really love this rifle. I'm super comfortable with it. This is definitely the rifle that I train the most with. It's light, it's ergonomic. I know my holds, etc. So no matter what you do, no matter what you build, you got to train with it. I can't stress that enough. Dry fire, pay for some training, and then whatever you learn at that class, go home and work on it, and then take what you work on at home and bring that out to the range instead of just throwing rounds down range with no purpose. If you have any suggestions on what to change or any questions, make sure to shoot me a comment down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and thank you for watching.